I know I have to stop drinking. Every single time I get drunk now, the time is more and more and more, but I just don't know how to freaking stop. Admitting it, yeah, I got that. But now what? That's what today's video is about. You ready to go? Let's get it. Exactly that, folks. Welcome back to the channel. I'm Wayne, and I'm an alcoholic who drank insatiably for 23 years. I had no idea how to actually stop. I knew for certain that I had a damn problem, but I didn't know how to attack it. And that's what this is. Step one in Alcoholics Anonymous. Now, that's not your groove, folks. I get it. But step one is admitting that you can't stop drinking once you start, or you can't stop using. If that is relatable for you and that's something that you can digest, drop them comments below, because someone right now is fighting the fight, and it's up to us to help each other to see our way through. If you have not subscribed to this channel, it's cool, but consider it, because something here might be something of value for you or someone you know. And thanks to everybody who has subscribed so far. And that's all I'm going to say about that. January is step one for Alcoholics Anonymous. Again, if you don't fancy Alcoholics Anonymous and it's not your thing, there are relatable principles and strategies within the program of Alcoholics Anonymous that can be a benefit for you or someone you love. Check it out. When I was near, I would say, the bottom point in my drinking career. And I say career because, you know, I did an Army career and that was 20 years. I drank for 23 years. Weird. Point of that is, at the height of that, so to speak, I knew for a fact that the time that I spent drunk was more than I spent sober on a daily basis. And when I got drunk, things happened that I didn't remember, and next, every single following day, I wish I could take back, and I didn't have to go through a Rolex of what the hell happened. You might be able to get some of that, and you might be able to say to yourself, hell yeah, that's me. Hell yeah, I don't remember anything that happened yesterday. The thing about that, folks, is for me, that took away not only my wife and son, because they had left at this point, but it took away my entire memory, pretty much, of a 20-year Army career. That is intense and that is extreme. When I talk to my peers and they say, remember this, remember that, and I have to say, no, I actually don't. And their response, folks, is, yeah, I kind of figured that because you were always drunk anyway, or I was always picking you up out of a bush, or I was always helping you out of a problem, or I was always bailing you out of a situation that you got yourself in, so I could understand why you don't remember anything. Perhaps that's why you didn't get promoted to senior ranks. I don't know. I have to do some self-reflection and say perhaps it is. Now, what's the point of that, folks? Point of that is all that little spiel. Step one of Alcoholics Anonymous is admitting your powerlessness over alcohol. It's not admitting that you're powerless, because that is a misunderstanding of step one of Alcoholics Anonymous. Admitting you're powerless over alcohol, folks, and this is for me only, and you might be able to relate, and you can drop your comments and someone's going to understand what you're saying, because in my belief and in my experience, an alcoholic is the only one who can understand an alcoholic truly, and an addict is the only one that can understand an addict. How I got to the solution that I was powerless over alcohol is that I would start planning my drink from the moment I wake up, from the moment I woke up, and I would start my whole day based off of when I could get drunk and when I could go get what I need to get my fix. That was a tumultuous event, and I'm not going to go through that because You could see that in the card above, and I'm going to put it right there. My day as an alcoholic, or a day as an alcoholic, and you'll be able to see what I mean. But I would plan my whole day around getting drunk, and I would anticipate the whole ritual of actually opening that first beer. And I'm not going to paint that for you, because I found that romanticizing my drink will make me want it. And that was one of my triggers, is that I was romanticizing the need for that one drink to get me on the road, so to speak, that it actually led me back to several relapses when I was trying to get sober. And those videos are also able to be watched on this channel. You can go back and check them out. What am I getting at here, folks? I'm getting at this. My friend asked me not to talk about him, so I'm not. However, there is a point where someone has to say to themselves, yes, I truly am powerless over alcohol. What's the next step? Because we can admit it all day long, and we could know that we have an issue. We could know the whole science behind what can fix it. But how do we actually get to that point? It took for me, this alcoholic, it took for me to be able to look in the mirror and say, you know what? You've admitted that you can't control the drink once you start the drink. You admitted that when you found yourself in a bus stop at 2 a.m. and you had to be to work at 4:45, and you were passed out without your ID card and without your wallet, you admitted that you can no longer function in this way as an alcoholic. But what happened to get me to be 7 years sober, February 21st, coming up? What got me to this point? A lot of folks wonder that, because the process of steps 1 through 12 of Alcoholics Anonymous will provide you a roadmap in order to get sober. However, it will still take your action and able to make that a reality that you can live in. What did it take for me? It took for me this. I was mandated to go to Alcoholics Anonymous, and that's how I ended up there in the first place. So I was mandated to go. And at first I was like, man, this is corny as hell. I don't even know why I want to waste my time listening to a bunch of old folks or a bunch of drunks tell their stories about getting drunk and laughing about it, because I just think that's stupid and that's not going to help anything. Boy, was I wrong. Sharing our experiences with each other is one of the most profound things that you can do as an alcoholic for another alcoholic. You don't even have to talk to them about Alcoholics Anonymous. Matter of fact, you can leave that out of the conversation altogether. But if you just kick the can around, so to speak, or have a conversation at the water cooler, that's another one, you can be an impact in somebody's life and their roadmap in sobriety, towards recovery, more so than you think. And if you can relate to that also, guess what? Do that comment thing, put that down there so someone else can get some of that. I ended up at Alcoholics Anonymous. I listened to their stories. I shared my own stories, and that was just the beginning. Before that, I did 7 weeks at a rehab. Now, the rehab was great. I couldn't drink the whole time anyway. So I had no choice but to absorb all the coping skills and all the meditation practices and the occupational therapy and all those great things within that bubble that could help me along my journey. And it did. It helped in a profound way. And I was so thrilled to be sober for 7 weeks that I was telling the world that I was awesome and that we could beat this thing together and blah, blah, blah. 2 days after I got out of rehab, folks, I was back at it again. I found myself with a cradle of beer, and I was getting drunk once more. And that would go on for another 2 years before I finally got to that point where my life was a train wreck and I had no choice but to try to find out how to get sober, not just want to be. It also takes, for me, this alcoholic, speaking to you guys on a regular basis, which I've been a little distracted lately, and I'm coming back to it, but I've been distracted lately with some housework and some new job status and everything else, trying to settle in the globe that I just brought myself into, and it's distracted me from actually making videos. Videos keep me sober. It helps me to reflect on the fact that yes, I'm an alcoholic. I do have a disease, but I'm not sick anymore. I have taken my medication, which is, for me, the experiences and the principles and practices and traditions of Alcoholics Anonymous. I practice my program. I read the daily reflections every single day. I reach out to other alcoholics and addicts who are still suffering. I try to share my experiences, strength, and hope with you. And that for me, and for me alone, and I keep a sober system. A sober system for me is the community of people that I hang out with and associate with who do not, like, their capital idea is not getting drunk. Make sense? That's what keeps me sober, this alcoholic. And I think that realizing that my life is much better. It's not always super, but it's much better living sober than it ever was wondering what the hell happened the night before, or the hour or minute before, or, wondering if I'm going to have a heart attack the next day, wondering when my organs are going to fail, wondering how I'm going to get money to drink, wondering how I'm going to pay back the money that I got last week in order to get drunk. All these things. Is my family going to ever love me again? I have to worry about those things that happened when I was drunk by not drinking. And that in turn keeps me sober. Did I lose you? Because I lost myself just a little. That is the purpose of today's video. Once you get to a place where you can say, yes, I am powerless over the first drink that leads to a never-ending drink. And when that drink does end, all I'm doing is searching for the next one. I am powerless over that. And I am powerless over drinking regardless of the consequence. But I am not powerless over having the choice to not drink. Because that's where I am today, folks. And that's what I hope for you guys. Guess what? I didn't forget about anybody out there. And I hope you got a little bit of value over my spiel. Because I didn't lose myself. But I don't know if I went off track a little bit. Let me know in the comments. Look, consider subscribing to the channel because we help each other. And I hold no monetary purpose with this channel at all. As a matter of fact, I'm not even monetized, so it doesn't matter. My purpose is for you. Life's a garden, folks. Dig it? If you need anything from me, let me know. I'm going to see you in the next one. Have a good day.